Hey guys, welcome to Cleopatra Art Studios. So hopefully you're checking in with me real good tonight. You're having a great day. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this really snarky door hanger. It's made out of wood, 18 inches or so. And it's kind of snarky. It reads, let me tilt that down just a smidge. It reads, welcome-ish, depends on who you are. So this is the final project that was a choice for our door hanger club. I love it. It's going to go on my door anytime it's not a holiday. So basically we are going to take it apart. It's a kit, guys. Let's keep it simple. What you do is you paint it and then you glue it back together again. It's pretty simple. I'm trying to get out of that. Well, that's interesting. There we go. Da-da-da. So we can see our messages from you guys. So welcome at the dinner hour, so to speak. So normally I do my paint trick, but there's just not a lot of pieces. Sometimes these door hangers have a lot of little pieces. So what I'm going to do is just take off the welcome. It's a pretty sturdy piece. A lot of times the font is very delicate. I probably still break it. So all I'm going to really do the tape trick with is the ish. So remember, it reads welcome-ish. So there are two, what are those, paragraphs? What are those called? Come on, you English majors. What are those called? Eyelashes. There you go. So that's not hard. A lot of times we're spending a lot of time putting that together. And then I have the center overlay that reads depends on who you are. I'll tell you how to pull that out. And then we have this bottom. This will be a great resource for our club, for the people that have chosen this one. And if you're not in our club, that's okay. There's always next time. So I'm going to go ahead and mix my colors. So tonight I'm going to use, we call it Big Ugly, but it's a 1-inch chip brush. Possibly I'll use the foam brush. I'll use Martha Stewart's Round Dabber. I got some E6000 and some paint colors on my choice. So these door hangers that are, I call them evergreen, meaning they can go out most of the year. Evergreen, get it? You're gonna paint whatever colors you have going on outside. Now I have a door that I'm desperately begging John, can I please paint the door? And he's saying no, because then we'd have to paint the shutters and the trim, and it just would turn into this crazy project from there. But I do like chocolate brown. I do like phthalo. The phthalos. I do like Payne's Gray. So I'm going to make some Payne's Gray, which is black, white, and blue. Some snobby guy. I don't know if his first name was Payne or his last name was Payne, but he came up with Payne's Gray. And it's gray because there's blue and black and white, which make gray. So I'm just going to mix that up. Probably not all that black. So hopefully you guys are having a great Tuesday. Tomorrow night I'll be out at Spangle with those ladies. Love them so much. And if you're watching the replay in our door hanger club, I cannot wait to see what you make. I'm kind of thinking it's dark. I want it almost black with just a little blue when you look at it a certain way. So I am going to work in all that black. And you can paint it and wipe it off. If you want to see the grain is really pretty. Or you can just paint it like a fence. Just get it in there. Need out, Lou. Okay, Lula, come on, let's go. I didn't bring her a dog treat, so hopefully she behaves. So I'm just going to water down. Oops, you guys probably way too close on that camera tonight. I mixed blue, black, and I didn't even hit the white. So it's up to you. I have some water because I know I'm going to wipe mine off. Loving it. Be pretty. If you use metallic paints, that'd be really pretty too. Just make yourself happy. Okay, this is gonna take forever if I don't thin that water or thin that paint down just a little bit. It's all about making yourself happy. We're just having a little crafty time. It doesn't all have to be fine art. We're having a fun art moment. And what we're doing is running out of paint rather quickly. It's a big surface. You're probably going to use a little bit more paint than you thought. This is from our door hanger club. I think we sold almost all the spots we opened up. We were so blessed, so excited because I'm super excited about this. I'm just going to take some shop towels and I'm just going to gently wipe. And if I don't love it, I'll just paint over it. You know what it looks like? It looks like a stain from the 80s. We might have to just paint over it. You just never know, right? It's one of those 80s stains, guys. I'm not 100% sure. We're just gonna, we might just kind of go with the flow. How about that? Right off the bat, not loving it. So it's just paint. I'm just gonna make some more, but I'm gonna make mine a little bit more on the dark side. You know what would be really pretty is if you mixed it with turquoise. Okay, it's dog frenzy hour here at the Robinson house. So I'm gonna add a little white so it's a charcoal color. Water it down. I'm gonna paint this side and move back. I like that so much better. And then we'll cover up the side in a little bit. So I have just enough water that it's fluid on my chip brush. Now a chip brush can leave a texture, so you can always pick up 3/4 flat or a foam brush and get this in there. If you're looking for it to be a little smoother. Foam brush just uses a lot of paint. Let me just smooth it up. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. So this is just Mars Black, tiny bit of white, tiny bit of blue, just so it's not black. So remember how gray was super popular a couple years ago? Well, guess what? Black, kind of the new gray. Black's the new gray, y'all. Okay. So I'm brushing this on, and then I'll use my foam brush to smooth it out. Just so it's totally in there and done. Just kind of smoothing it out now. Definitely like this color a lot better than the original, and that's just to show you that sometimes you start a project and it's not, you don't win them all, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish painting this that same color. So it's not, it looks black, but I added a little blue to it, a little white to it. I might need to make some more. So door hangers are very cool because you know, you can easily store them and put one out for just about every occasion. And then this one would be an evergreen one, which I would welcome you to my home. Maybe we would welcome you to our home because you're welcome-ish. I would welcome you, but everyone that knows Mr. John, I hope you understand this. He is an introvert, about 90-10. I'm about 90-10 the other way, 90% extrovert, 10% introvert. So he'd put a smile on his face if you came to our door, and then he'd be like, oh, thank God, I didn't think they'd ever leave. And maybe some of your husbands are like that. Maybe you're like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put those paintbrushes in the water bucket. And just go ahead and refer to my photo. A lot of you are like, Kelly Sue, do you pre-paint all of these and then paint them again? No, I use a software called Procreate, and it handles a lot of that for me. And then I just have to paint it that other time with you live. Okay, now I know I want kind of, I adore turquoise. I do. I know magenta is the color of the year. Who was in charge that day when they were picking colors? I mean, I like magenta, don't get me wrong, but to give it the color of the year, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. It's like the gray trend all over again. Oh, I probably don't need any more white. I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna lighten up my black with some of that turquoise. I'm gonna let that be my little bit of pop. So here we go. We'll see what we get. I don't want it too drab, guys. We don't want it stormy drab. A little bit more. And then once I get kind of in the gray tone I want, I'm gonna lighten it up. Keep your circle small. Right now all I'm doing is painting the paper. Oh my gosh, the paint waste. So sometimes when you mix craft colors, you don't necessarily get the colors you were thinking you were gonna get because the colors are formulated. Sometimes you get a surprise. You know what I should have done? Silver. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, here we go. So I want this to pop, to be very contrasty, which is my made up word of the day. Be very contrasty against that dark charcoal background I made. It's all about contrast. Okay, get it together, Kelly. Get it together. Be cool. All right, here we go. I'm gonna, number one, check it to see if it's light enough. I think it does pop. You can always consider it a first coat, and then the next coat, what I can do is make it a little bit lighter. So I know this one's gonna be a different color altogether. Ooh, I should have painted welcome already. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay, so I'm just gonna paint over this section, and it's got these etched bullet holes that I said to John, I said they weren't just pieces that's glued on top, and he said no, in this design, it's not my design, I'm reselling it, that it's etched. So that means I have to carefully paint in that area. Now, if you don't want those areas, that bullet look, rivet, I guess it would look like a rivet. What you can do is, you can't just paint over it. The rivet would still show. What you can do is paint over the back, and then you'll have to turn it. I really like this color. I like pastels, but not the bright, very sparkly, glittery version of pastels. I like the stormy, dark version of pastels. I just feel like they go with more things than the glittery. No, I like glitter, don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean? Like, magenta's cool, but I would get sick of it very soon. That was pretty quick. You could let it dry. Paint shrinks as it dries. You can see if maybe you need to do it again. I'm gonna go ahead and use a different tool for my lattice work. Consider it lattice work. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Martha Stewart sponger. I'm gonna get a little moist, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna go into my paint, put a little on. And then let me see if you guys can see this. I'm gonna take some off. And that's so paint's just not oozing everywhere. It just goes super fast. You can use a foam brush, sure. You can use a paintbrush, but what's gonna happen is a makeup brush would be good. Paint is going to ooze around the side, and then you have that dilemma of, oh, now I have to paint my sides, all of them. And I just rather not. I'm all about getting it done, one and done, and moving on to the next project because my mind is full, guys. Big surprise there. My mind is very full. And I just want to move on to the next magical project. And I just want to paint things that make me feel good. Make me feel good. I don't want to paint. I'm not painting a lot of canvases anymore because they don't make me feel as good as painting crafty paint, the wood pieces. There's something about the tactile feel of the wood. I really like to get into it. I know that I can paint over it if I have a problem. Hold on a second. I got a smidge of an ooze because I pressed too hard. And when I loaded, did you guys watch me? I didn't unload, darn it. So if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them. Right now, I am just painting the very last project in our adult box. Oh, no, the Arts and Craft Door Hanger Club. And thank you so much for your support and loving this new membership as much as I love it, because I do. I love it. But what happened was a lot of people were like, that joined said, can I also have choice number 2 and 3? Oh, and 4. And that was fine. Absolutely. At that low price, you're a member. You can have any of those choices at that price. So we just had to go back in and fix a few things. So, which I am not the queen of. So let me just take a gander. And I don't want to sit this down on it because it would leave marks where the paint is still drying. Are you loving that? Because I'm kind of into it. Kind of really, really into it. Okay, I got a leak. I got a drip. Now, it's not shiny. I didn't use a shiny paint. I used I would consider it a satin. If you want to shine it up, you're going to have to protect your piece anyway. So why not pick a product that's got some high gloss in it? This is indoor, this is outdoor, gloss crystal clear. Except if you have a lot of white, you're going to want to go with polycrylic. Polycrylic, because this brand has some urethane in it. So it's drying almost instantly. You can have a glass of wine with your girlfriends, take the doggy out around the block, yell at your husband to clean the dishes. Oh, I don't know. I don't yell at John. I'm gonna go ahead and paint in my overlay. One of my kids is just reaching out really quick, so I need to talk to him. Where is he? Let him know what's up. Of course, if my kid needs me, I get off the recording right away. Ta-da. Okay. All I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. I'll come back and wash this later. I promise you I will. So I can keep in that, no, he's fine. I can keep in that gray motif. If I wanted to, I could go a little into the sand area, that brown that's light like sand. And I'm kind of thinking, or you could leave it plain, but I'm kind of thinking like a grayish sand would be great. I'm happy with that. So let me go ahead and just grab, how am I going to do that? Well, I have cream already. You could take, I don't know that I'd necessarily take gold. So this is going to contrast. You guys see that? I don't think I'd take gold. Well, maybe I would. And add white to it. It would depend on the gold. Some of the golds are a lot, oh, that's kind of gross. You got a booger in your paint. That's going to make it on a t-shirt one day. Some of the golds are in the bronze spectrum, or green spectrum, if you want to put it that way. And some are more shimmery and beautiful. Just pick what's working for you and your household. I'm just gonna mix this up, and I want it really light, like way lighter than the, God, that color is so pretty, than the teal. Way, 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 way lighter. I want this to be a super light cream. Stay on the paper. So I'm just gonna brush it next to it to see, do I like that? I like it because it's still warm, but I'm actually honestly gonna add a little bit more white. Titanium white. Some of my paints are craft variety and some are artist grade. Just depends what I'm doing. I think we're hitting the right area. I just don't want it too yellow. What do you guys think? Is it too yellow? It's pretty darn close. It's pretty close. I certainly don't want white, and this is why my door is at the part of the house, the front of the house, as doors are, and the wind blows that direction. And if I painted this white, when the pine trees are blowing their goodness, I don't know what it's called, their pollen, what can happen is then my white looks dingy anyway. Okay, so I loaded, I unloaded, I'm just coming across. I can see already I'm gonna need a second coat. And then I'll show you what to do with these letters. Don't sit there and clean them out with a toothpick. So they're etched pretty deep, but still, if you're gonna paint over these, specifically, if you used a paintbrush, they would cover it pretty quick, like my E. My E's pretty covered up. Getting excited. Almost time for a quick little Disneyland break. Try to always do a little tiny trip in, oh, make sure your fingers are clean, for good grief. Crafting 101, I just failed. Okay, that's glue, that's not gonna help here. I got some water under the table and a little squeeze bottle. Done. I'm not finished. I can tell I'm already gonna be doing this a lot. So keep your wet wipes handy. Mine are packed for my paint party tomorrow night. Okay, crack me up. Okay, so probably want to paint this a second time. It's already dry, so I'm just getting in there. One thing I noticed about the Martha Stewart bouncers are that you don't want to apply a lot of force or you'll eat up that sponge. That's, I guess it's foam. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have one dirty area, that's for sure. You can see, let me hold that up. The paint is drying and you're able to see the spots a little bit better. The lines in the, depends on who you are. The last thing I need to paint is, clean that up, the welcome-ish, and then I can start putting this together and doing some detail work. It's super cute. Not all of you get it. Some of you are like, no, why isn't everybody welcome? Well, we have a really sweet door hanger for you, but those of you that know me, would not be surprised if this is on my door. So I'm just using a sponge daughter from Michaels. I feel like the black ones, you know, I've seen them black, I've seen them yellow. The black ones hold together a little bit better than the yellow. That being said, if I didn't have anything else, you betcha I'm going to be using the yellow. Super fast. So make sure if you're getting time off from your kids in your household to go to your girlfriends to paint one of these, tell the man that it takes 3 hours to paint these. I mean, it can. I've seen some ladies take a long time, but they don't need to. They really don't. And so when he calls after about an hour in, wondering when you're going to come home, as they always do, love you, honey. You can say, "Oh no, I'm still painting. Like, I'm not. It's my day off. It's my night off. It's mom's night out on the town with my girls, and we're still painting." Make sure you tell them I told you that. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside to dry. It won't take long. I'm going to just go ahead and paint my little rivets. I decided to keep them. I'm going to grab a small paintbrush. I'm really honestly not going to get all fuddy-duddy about what color. I'm just picking black. It's going to go with my motif, my color, my palette. And I expect you to use colors that are reflected in your home or the outside, the exterior of your door. I'm using a small filbert. It has a curve to it, so it naturally wants to do a curve. That being said, you're going to reach a point right here for me that my wrist doesn't want to turn. Take it easy on yourself and then just turn your piece. Okay, so when I go too big, a couple things you can do is just take the whole thing big, but you can take a small damp paintbrush, get it wet, because guess what? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, guys. Specifically if you had vino or margaritas. A lot of you guys follow my personal page too. Did you see my post yesterday? You guys crack me up. I was just sharing someone else's post about how they keep trying to make a protein drink, but it keeps turning out margaritas. Truly amazing post. Okay, keep turning it so you're hitting your sweet spot. Make it nice and smooth. So I tend to like gloss on my finished piece. Not everybody does. Some of you like satin. Now I wouldn't paint in my house. I use satin on my walls. I wouldn't paint a wall gloss, but when I want it to stand out, then I'm going to go ahead, you betcha, and I'm going to paint it glossy. So I'll spray this. I'd rather paint it flat or matte and then spray it, guys. My son, what is, hey, I'm filming, mean buddy. Love ya. Okay. Ta-da. I swear, okay. So you have to use a protective finish anyway. If your porch does not have an overhang that protects your door, I would go ahead and just get the UV protective spray. All right, there's one thing I want to do. So for the, okay, where did I put this? For the words, I have a paint pen. I'm going to tell you right now, paint pens hate me. They hate me so bad. I'm going to try. So they're spring loaded, as they all are. I've had good paint pens. I've had bad paint pens. And I'm not going to press hard. Hold on a second. Polluted it already. I'm not going to press hard. I'm just going to go right where it's at and just go over. And I'll tell you what, that looks great. This is a, help me out here. I think it's considered a fine. So I'm just going to go, I'm not pressing hard. And did you see how I'm anchoring my hand right there? So it keeps me from being so wobbly. And I don't know if it's because I'm older now or I just can't handle my coffee. Dude, it's half calf. And then I have like a Coke Zero for lunch. That's it. I just can't handle it. I'm just older now. See, okay, so this one I didn't brace my hand and it was more of a challenge. Okay, so make sure you're bracing your hand. But now I painted that, so maybe you should start on the W and go this direction. Then your W will be dry and then come this way. Smart. Those of you that are like, I don't like my penmanship, dude, it's done for you. All you have to do is literally follow along. And if you feel like you're at mom's night and you had too much to drink, just wait till tomorrow. Just wait till tomorrow, guys. All right, take a breath. I'm starting to rush it. Oh, I missed my line. I'm starting to rush it. Take a breath. All right. It's almost dinner time. A lot of you guys are in mid-commute. If you're in our door hanger club, we thank you so very much for joining us. We try to give you choices that are hard to make. All right, so I do want to come in and do a little bit of highlighting in the rivets. I want to make sure I know which direction it's going. Wait, nope, this way. I'm gonna take a little paintbrush in white. I'm just gonna do a little apostrophe. So cute. And let's put this bad boy together. That took no time at all. I think if I were to look at my time, I'd probably be at like 40 minutes or so. So let's talk glue. So you have a couple choices. I tend to go with E6000 and then do a couple tricks when it comes to little spaces because you don't want it going everywhere. Now, if you don't have E6000, you can do, there's a Gorilla Glue variety of it. You can't really use your hot glue gun because by the time you start here and get here, this is firm. And then you're not gonna be liking that you didn't listen at that point. So I would use a craft glue. Now, if you're like, okay, well I have wood glue. If you have some time on your hand, you can use the wood glue because it does take a while. Now, another thing is this is a natural wood product. If you sat there and painted a lot, like layer after layer after layer, the boards can get a little warpy. And even if you didn't, sometimes you'll get a piece that's a little warpy. Let me try this one. So it's a little warpy on this side, so you see how I went like that. What I'll have to do is glue it and weigh it down a little bit. Throw that cookbook on there. You're not using it anymore anyway. It'll work. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you. So you don't wanna outline the whole thing. You just wanna put a couple dabs here and there. Whew, couple dabs. Definitely one on the ends, not too much. You don't want it to ooze. And you can have strings on these just like you do with hot glue gun. So make sure you know where your circle or your hanging holes are, and you're gonna try to line that up. And then guys, you gotta wait for the glide. Ooh, what did I do? I wasn't lined up. You gotta wait for the glide. Just gotta clean up that glue in there. What is the glide? Ooh, I like that paintbrush. Don't use that, lady. The glide is where you put on the craft glue, you turned away, you looked back, and it slid a little bit. If you don't use a lot of craft glue, you're gonna be okay, but if you tend to have a heavy hand, you're gonna have some gliding happening. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a little glue cleanup. It's a little shinier than the paint, so it does show. When everything's done, I can go in there and fix it. Okay, I'm just pushing it down. Looks pretty good. So like a 20-second hold, and you're gonna get rid of that glide, guys. Promise. Oh, you didn't tell me that I'm a little off. Looking at my dots. So that's great. So I also have a Gorilla Super Glue Gel. I wouldn't have been able to make that correction if I was using the super glue. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I'm covering it up. Okay, next, depends on who you are. With that cream, it's kind of a warm cream look. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna put some dots. And then a couple little squiggles through the center. Not a tremendous amount. Did I just move that? Okay, if you find that your piece is warped a little bit, just weigh it down. Grab a cookbook, weigh it down. Make sure it's dry first. So mine is a little, just it happens. I mean, it's very thin wood, guys. Okay, and then finally, the last piece de resistance. And my piece isn't completely dry. Am I still off by my hanging holes? I still am a little bit. I could play a little bit with this because I use craft glue. If you didn't, you're gonna wanna did it right the first time, but I know me. Okay, so if your end is popping up right away, what you can do is you can hit it with some super glue. I don't typically bring super glue to a paint party because then somebody wants to put the whole thing together with super glue, and really it's just for like quick fixes. There we go, stay down. Might have needed a little bit more glue there. Okay, so I'm watching for the glide. Push it down, push it down. So with your words, and this is like, ta-da, where everybody wants to tune in so they can see. Put that down there. So yeah, so I was gonna say it's gonna pop up on the other end now. Okay, so with your words, let me show you the trick. You want to, again, just use a tiny little bit, but if you feel like you're using too much, what you can do is squeeze some of the glue here, use one of your really, really old paintbrushes, and then just brush it on where it's needed. Or this can be where you use the super glue. But you just have to keep in mind, there's not a lot of playing with the super glue. You get in and you get out. I happen to like, let me see, welcome-ish. Welcome. You want to play with it first. You want to make sure you have it lined up right where you want it. Welcome-ish. It just depends who you are. Now, I will probably put a second coat of black on my welcome-ish. And I said, John, there's not a dot for the eye. And he said, nope, there's no dot for the eye. I'm probably going to throw one in anyway, because I feel like, ooh, there should be a dot for the eye. Sometimes I have some laying here. You go shopping at my desk, because sometimes there's a lot. There we go. Oh, I forgot I didn't glue that down. So this is the 4th version that's available for the $29. Only a special price for our club members, our door hanger club. I didn't think I used enough glue there. Normally you'd spend $39 on our website. Here we go. Sit there and pop that down. So real quick, I was going to show you the other ones. I haven't glued all of them. Ta-da! There's the shenanigans. Welcome. How fun is that? Love lives here, although these hearts on yours aren't as big as mine. John lost the little hearts that go there, and these are the two he had hanging around, so I stuck them on there, and I love how chubby they are. And then this one is not glued. And I dare you not to sing the song. Love Shack, right? Don't you want to totally go into song with that? Lots of glitter. So I don't glitter everything, guys. You can see tonight I didn't glitter. It's fun. Like, which one am I going to put on my door? Now I'm going to have to find someone I want to give one to. I'm going to have to say that one. He's a ginger. All right, so this one is really beautiful. I painted it the colors that I wanted on my door, and we're going to hang it on my door. And I'll be sure to share that photo with you. If you have painted this with us, go ahead and share with us. We'd love to see what you've done. Have a good day. Bye, guys.